Welcome back to our series on the life of Joseph. Today we're diving into one of the most dramatic turns in his story, his betrayal by his own brothers and his subsequent journey to Potiphar's house. It's a tale filled with emotion, intrigue, and powerful lessons.
Absolutely. It's one of those stories that really resonates, doesn't it? When Joseph's brothers betray him, stripping him of his robe and tossing him into a pit, it really underscores how deeply betrayal can run, especially when it comes from family.
Right? And to put it in context, that robe was more than just clothing. It symbolized their father's love and favoritism towards Joseph. By taking it away, they weren't just physically harming him. They were emotionally ripping away his identity as the favored son.
And that moment is a turning point. Instead of killing him, they sell him for 20 shekels of silver. Now, for a little historical context, 20 shekels, about what might be the price of a slave. So we can see right away how low they had sunk in their betrayal.
It's so interesting. This shows how betrayal can come from those we trust the most. There's a level of pain that other betrayals just don't match, right? But let's talk about what happens next.
Joseph is taken to Egypt. Now, Egypt was a land filled with contrasting cultures and practices compared to Joseph's upbringing. Often in life, we find ourselves thrown into figurative Egypts, uncomfortable and alien situations, but sometimes that displacement is part of a grander design.
Exactly. It's like being pushed out of your comfort zone. Some people think of it as being punished, but what if instead it's preparation? Preparation for something greater. Life can lead us into pits so that we can find ourselves rising up to greater houses, like Potiphar's, where Joseph ends up.
That's a powerful metaphor. And once he's in Potiphar's house, we notice something crucial. The narrative tells us that the Lord was with Joseph. This divine presence actually becomes the source of his success.
Yes, it's fascinating how even as a slave, Joseph's integrity and abilities shine. Potiphar recognizes this and elevates him, entrusting him with his entire household. It highlights that our external circumstances don't dictate our worth or capability.
And it raises an important question. What do we tie our sense of worth to? Are we measuring it by symbols like titles and material possessions, or are we rooting it in something deeper?
You hit the nail on the head there. This part of Joseph's life teaches us that God's favor isn't tied to those outward symbols. It's about God's presence with us, manifesting in our abilities and resilience, which remains even in undesirable conditions.
Yes, this story encourages us to remain faithful in little things. Whether it's responsibilities at work or obligations at home, being diligent in those smaller tasks can prepare us for much bigger challenges ahead.
So true. You can apply this concept to so many aspects of life. Whether you're in a tough work situation or dealing with personal relationships, staying faithful and recognizing God's favor, even in hardship, can lead to elevation over time.
Reflect on this. Do we recognize that God is with us, even in our pits? The lessons here are timeless. Betrayal doesn't cancel out destiny. God's favor is not about visual symbols, and we can find presence and purpose in hardship.
Exactly. For anyone listening who might feel trapped in a challenging season, remember Joseph. He went from the pit, through betrayal and hardship, to a place of favor and responsibility, all thanks to his steadfast resilience and faith. That's a powerful narrative of hope.
What a journey we've discussed today. Joseph's life story inspires us to realize that our challenges can pave the way for something greater, aligning with God's providential path. It's an important reminder that the hardships we face serve a purpose.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you take away the understanding that no matter how deep the pit, there is always potential for rising higher. Until next time, keep reflecting on how you can find purpose in your own journey.
Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to diving into more inspiring stories next time. Goodbye for now.